Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this lesson, we'll start to come back to the bookstore, the front end part, and we'll be starting to add the book shelf or book list in the storefront. Okay, so currently we only have the login functionality implemented. I mean, of course, you can create a new account and forget the password, but we don't have the book list, displayed. And the target book list should look like this. We have a bunch of books listed, and there's a book image, title, date, author, paperback format, and number of pages, our price, and list price, and a bunch of descriptions. Okay, so this should be our book list. And first, we need to have the template ready. And let's go ahead and do that. And we have the bookstore. Okay, so don't go to admin portal. We're going to a bookstore. Source, main, resource, template. We're adding a new HTML template called bookshelf. All right. So we can copy from, say, for example, my profile page, have all the content, come back to bookshelf and copy, and we just need the container part. Everything else we don't actually need. We just need the image and the banner. So we're gonna delete from this navigation tab, not from the front end of container. Okay, so let's delete this part, nav tab, and try to close this one. So we'll delete, doesn't allow me to delete. Okay, so let's select all of them. All right, so this should be the template that we'll be working on. So first of all, let's add a error check. So if empty list is true, so that is the search or whatever is returning notebook, we're gonna display a message saying that, oops, no result is found, try something else or try again later. And this should be in the style of font style italic. And then we're gonna have a table. The reason we need that table is because we're gonna later add some table plugin to it. Okay, so that we can leverage some of the functionalities from the plugin. For now, let's just follow this structure. So I give the border as 0, that is to say the table will not have any border, and we will have the t head section as well, even though we're not going to put anything in it. That's because the plugin requires a complete sections even though there's no content in it. And then we're going to have t body. So this t body will have a t row. Plus equals to book item data th equals to book list, and we're gonna have a division. sorry, not division, we're gonna have a TD, which is the cell first. So this is gonna do a check in the next division. If that book doesn't equal to now, that's to say we have some content, so this error message won't be displayed. Otherwise, we won't display any of this content. Instead, we're going to just display this message. Okay, so this is a safety check. We're going to have a div class of row and this would be colon of 3, and this colon of 3 will be the image responsive, and it will be a shelf book class which we're gonna add some of the content. And let's close this tag in case we forget. And we're gonna have a admin tab plus add image book plus book.id plus .png. So what is this doing? Basically, we are having the image of the book, right? And this image is hosted by the image source is coming from the admin path. This is a variable we'll be setting in our application the properties as an attribute or properties variable. And then the link goes to image book folder and then the book ID plus PNG. So this whole thing is hosted by our admin portal server. Okay. So we need to go to our applications.property to add a admin path equals to http localhost 8081 admin portal. Okay. And actually, we need to have a file called messages.properties, and we're gonna copy that, cut and paste into this message properties. Okay. Okay. Next, we're gonna have another division of class column access with 9 columns. And first, we're gonna display the book title, book.title. The next one would be a span of book.publication date. Then I'm gonna have another span. And this would be book.author. And we're gonna have a span, and this would be the book format, and we would like to capitalize the book format. So what we're gonna do is use a strings API dot capitalize functionality or method, capitalize book dot format. So this is provided by timelive. Okay. Next span would be book.number of pages, and within this we're gonna have a span pages, and after that we're gonna have a, let's see, span. Before the span we're gonna have, well, not before, but just style, font size of X large, color DB3208, and we're gonna have a dollar sign, and then another span, and within this span we're gonna have a th text, dollar sign, numbers dot format decimal, book dot hour price 0, comma 2 points. So this is the API provided by Timeleaf called numbers, and it has a format decimal method which can be used to format the numbers to be displayed, as we are displaying the price, and this price will be 2 digits for decimal. Okay, the next thing we're gonna have is, let's just copy this one and paste it, and for the style we don't need to make a special color, but instead we're gonna have a text decoration of line through. Within the span we're gonna have list price instead of our price. Okay, and after that we're gonna have a paragraph that's dealing with the description. So we're gonna use the strings API again, and we're gonna call the abbreviated functionality or method to shorten the length to 500 characters. Okay, so the overflow text will be displayed in ellipse. And let's go ahead, rerun our app. Let's see, which one did I stop? Rerun this. So the application has been started. Let's take a look at our book list. Oh, we need to go to bookshelf. Oops, should be bookshelf. And we haven't add. Let's just log in first. Okay, so it says not found bookshelf. Okay, let's come back to our controller. Let's close all of them and try to find the controller in the bookstore. So we haven't defined the bookshelf yet. Okay, let's add bookshelf here. and we're gonna use a user service or book service. Do we have a book service defined? No, let's just do that. We're gonna create a new interface called book service, and this one will have a find all method, which returns all the books. And in this implementation, we're going to define a book service info that will be registered as a service, and it implements the book service interface. And we're going to auto wire a private book repository and we're going to define a public list book. This will be finding all books that basically return the book repository dot find all. Okay, so we need to come to this repository and define the interface here. Book repository extends CRUD repository book long. That should be it. Import everything. Okay, in home controller, we're gonna have a auto wire book service, and we're gonna import that. We're gonna add it to list of book service that find all, and we're gonna add that to the model. And we're gonna return to bookshelf. Oops. All right, and we're gonna just rerun this application. So stop the BookStore and rerun it. Errors exist? No, we're not gonna proceed if there's any error. Book service book repository dot find all. Book repository dot find all. Okay, let's see what error is. Oh, we need to add cast like that. Okay, so that's good. And we're gonna start again. Did I stop the admin portal as well? Okay, let's start the admin portal again. So the admin portal has been started, and let's start the BookStore as well. Okay, we got an error saying that not a manager type book. Well, that's because we don't have the domain model created for book. So we can just simply copy the book from the admin portal to here. And of course, we're gonna change the package name. All right. And let's try again to restart the BookStore. Okay, again we have some problem. It says not a manager type class java awt.printing.book. So this is because if we come back, take a look at book service. So this is actually importing the Java library book, not the library we had. And that's because when we are trying to implement this service, we don't have the domain model. So it automatically imports the Java one, which we don't really want. So we're gonna use the domain one this time. And here we're gonna delete the book from Java. Use the domain one. And of course, from the book repository, we're gonna delete this and import the real book that we need. Okay, and we're gonna start again for this bookstore. Error exists, so in home controller, we probably need to delete this and import the real book again, and run as Spring Boot application. So this time it's successful running, and let's go take a look at the bookshelf. And we have to log in because we haven't put the bookshelf into the public measures. So it says bookshelf 13. And what's the error message say? Property of field username cannot be found on now. So we don't have the book found. So the error actually comes from, let's see, let me open the template and explain to you. We're trying to look through each of the book lists, right? And we're trying to check the book is not equal to now, and we look through each of them. And the message, if you come back and see that, it says the username cannot be found on now. So we're talking about usernames. That's because somewhere here we are calling the username. Let's just search for that. And we found that that's because we are having a headline. So this is trying to evaluate the user property, but we haven't passed yet because the user hasn't really logged in. So we can do a simple trick here to first cut this part, and we're going to evaluate user. Is he exist or not? If it exists, we're going to do a conversion to display the username. Otherwise, we'll just display a all books string. All right. So let's come back to take a look at bookshelf. Okay, could not pass as expression for admin path bookshelf 14. And let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, we cannot find this. It probably is something wrong with this path. Okay, I'm missing a single quote here. And let's try to do it again. Okay, we have the content display. It's just doesn't look that perfect. Okay, we'll fix that in next lesson. All right, see you guys in the next video. Bye.